Hey, welcome back to my channel. This dresser and nightstand stand I picked up well over a couple of months ago, and I initially made it over in a two-tone look. I removed the old finish from the bottom base and paint washed it and paired it with a dark gray paint color. Well, it sat for over 2 months, and with barely any hits, I decided it was time to change the color once more in an effort to get it sold. Here's the initial before and after. Now stick around to see the steps I take to change the color on a piece that I've already redone. So I am going to be reusing the same hardware. My main concern with this is obviously the color is not attracting enough people. So what I'm going to end up doing is just changing the color, and I don't need to change the hardware in order to do that. I think that I'm just gonna play it safe, and I'm gonna do off-white color. I feel like white is very clean, very timeless, and there's definitely still plenty of people who are buying white or off-white furniture. So I'm gonna play it safe, and that's what I'm gonna do in order to get this out of here, because it's been sitting here way too long and I'm just kind of over it at this point. I don't want it in my garage anymore. I need it gone. So I mentioned earlier that this dresser is actually pretty heavy, and it really is. It's made out of solid wood. The drawers is what's really making this dresser super heavy, and it's lighter once I take them out, which is why I'm taking them out, so that I can be able to move this dresser back and forth. And for someone like me who is constantly lifting heavy things, whether it's from furniture flipping or from working out, if you've been following me for some time, then you know that I actually like to live as a healthy of a lifestyle as I can, and that includes working out, lifting heavy weights. And so being able to get enough rest and make sure I'm taking care of my body is essential for me, which is why I'm happy that Flexispot is actually sponsoring today's video and sending over their Powerlift Recliner XL6. After a long day of furniture flipping, or even getting a good workout in, the massage and heating functions on their chair help to relax my muscles. With 8 massage nodes, 3 massage modes, and 3 heating modes at less than $500. It's a price that's pretty hard to beat in today's market with all of these features that it includes. The convenient side pockets makes it great for storage for my current reading book, and even comes with USB charging ports if I want to get some work done instead. I've never owned a chair like this before. I've owned recliners in the past and currently have one in my baby's room, but never any that included features like this. The best part for me is being able to get a massage whenever I want without leaving the comfort of my home. The chair also has a lifting position that can help people with limited mobility or elderly who need the extra assistance. With a dual motor, it gives the recliner a 400-pound weight capacity and has the ability to lift the feet and back separately. Be sure to check out the additional features the chair offers and color choices to choose from using the link down in my description. Use my code for an additional $50 off per unit purchased. Thanks again to Flexispot for sponsoring today's video. And now that the massage is over, let's get back to work. So I'm just gonna continue to take these drawers out. After removing the hardware, I needed to scuff sand. Now, because I know I did a good job in the initial prep, prime, and painting process the first time around, I have found that it's not actually necessary to remove the existing color before adding the new one. Some people may argue otherwise, but I have not had any issues before. Times when I would remove the old color is if I wasn't the one who originally painted it and didn't know the process the person took. If the furniture had actually been used and was already showing signs of major wear, or if it was hand painted, because I find that hand painting is usually a thicker application when compared to a sprayer. So to just avoid having too thick of a layer of paint and or primer on the furniture, which could lead to chipping, etc. So for me personally, I figured out a long time ago that I, for the most part, prefer paper over plastic. And the reason for that is the paper tends to absorb all of the overspray whenever you're spraying your paint. And with the plastic, it tends to just sit on there. And obviously plastic is cheaper than paper, which is why a lot of people prefer to use plastic, which again, I don't mind it, like for drawers and stuff like that. But for stuff like this, I definitely do mind it. Paper tends to not flap as much, like with the pressure of the air when I'm trying to spray things. And so I don't have to worry about it like flapping back or really getting in the way. To cover large areas, I do prefer plastic. Like if I was covering the top of this, I would probably use plastic because I can tape it down to a point where I don't have to worry about it moving so much and getting in the way of when I'm trying to spray. The first time that I did this, I actually covered this with plastic, and it reminded me of why I prefer paper over plastic for things like this, because I noticed that when I had it on here, it would like move like this. And so it kept touching the doors. And so at the end, I had to go back and just touch up. And so I'm hoping and I'm pretty sure that using paper is going to avoid all of that. It does take more time because this paper doesn't come with the tape. They do sell the paper in the same way that they sell the tape, but it's obviously cheaper to just buy the paper like this as opposed to it being already with the tape. So we've got mosquitoes. They're so bad right now. It's been raining nonstop here in the Houston area. So anyways. So originally I was going to be using the color alabaster because I feel like that's like a really common household color. But I realized that I had this can of the color Sculptor Clay by Behr. And so I decided, you know what? I need to really get rid of all of these colors that I have sitting around that I haven't used. It has that like off-white color with just a hint of a gray undertone, but not to the point where it looks like it's gray. Very pretty color. I think that this will definitely make this stand out a little bit more. And I feel honestly like there's so many more people now that are wanting white, clean look these days. How fast it'll sell is really what's gonna determine whether it was a right color choice or not. But I think it is. And I am going to use quite a bit of this paint because I've got the matching nightstand to go with it and all of the drawers. And I already had added water to the bottom of it to mix it, make sure we thin it out a little bit, just so it's not too thick going through the sprayer. And then we'll be ready to spray.
Once the first coat of color was dry, I went in and sanded everything smooth using a very fine, soft sanding sponge. You could definitely do this by hand as opposed to using a sander. I made sure to remove any and all dust I created before applying a second coat. Once the second coat was dry, I came in and sprayed a nice even coat of polyurethane in a satin finish. This was done fairly quickly and didn't take me very much time except for the dry times in between as I waited for things to dry before I could move forward. So the next time you have a piece of furniture that hasn't sold and you need to change the color so that you, in an effort to get it sold, then don't hesitate to do it and don't think that you have to actually strip it completely before you do it. As I mentioned before, I am reusing the same new hardware I previously had on there, so I went ahead and added it back. A reminder of what we started with at the beginning, after the first makeover, and finally now after the second makeover. Let me know which color is your favorite. If you have any questions or concerns regarding the process, be sure to leave them down in the comment section below. I love y'all, be kind, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye!